What's up, everybody? This is Dale from Upstate Bets and DFS. I'm here with my partner Riaz, bringing you a Prize Picks video. So we're sorry we didn't get a Prize Picks video out yesterday, but we ended up bringing out Fire 5 and also our NFL Week 8 Prize Picks is up too if you want to go check those out. Yesterday just wasn't there for us, unfortunately. But we were still able to get some content out. We also have a big announcement coming soon. So as things start to progress later in the week, hopefully we can kind of break the news and I think that'd be an awesome step in our channel. So I think you guys are gonna be excited to hear that, and we're excited to let you guys know the news. So obviously we're gonna continue to do Prize Picks. We love Prize Picks. We like talking Prize Picks, and we like playing. So here we are on a nice slate. This is a lot of games, but unfortunately everything's not posted yet. But we actually do have a 5 o'clock game. So if you're watching this video a little bit earlier in the day, a lot of people I think you like to watch the videos around 5:30. 6:30 right before lock. But if you do happen to watch this a little earlier, there's some pretty decent lines on this Boston and Washington game that you can check out. So I'm here with Riaz, as I say, as always, and we're going to start on the points category. And who do you like?
Yeah, I mean, just to start off in that 5 o'clock Wizards game, I like Jalen Brown. We've seen he's been a little banged up this year, but when he's healthy and good to go, he's just exploded. When he was healthy, he put up 30 against Charlotte, 46 against New York. I think 21 and a half is just too low for the amount of points that are going to be scored in this Washington game. So I like that over.
Yeah, obviously there is some some stuff we have to monitor with him, but I think if he is ready to go, I do like him there. And I think honestly another guy I'm looking at. I think Montrezl Harrell is just a tad too high for me. I'm looking at him. Obviously he's been putting up some great fantasy numbers, and I mean you can game log watch and kind of see that he has been doing very well. But I don't know. I just think that this could be a game where he doesn't get that. I mean this is just something where I mean he's seen a lot of minutes, and I mean he's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not like he's stretching the floor and hitting 3 pointers, nothing like that. Obviously, he did have a good game against Boston before, but I don't know. We'll see. I think either way, in this one for Montrez, I do like the under.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. But I also like Brandon Ingram to really jump into this 7 o'clock games. He's at 22 and a half. We've seen Ingram's got to do it all for this team with no Zion. And there's going to be a lot of points scored in this New York game. We've already seen him really cover this majority of the season so far. So I think it's a good line, and I really like the over at 22 and a half.
Yeah, I like Ingram too. I mean, this game could be a little tough, but I think a lot of people were valuing the Knicks defense a little bit more last season rather to this season. So I think Ingram's in a nice spot. He's just kind of pretty consistent around that number. So, um, you know, he's had some 30-point games. So right in there, I think is pretty good for him. We see Kemba Walker start to get a little bit hot lately. His shots starting to fall. If we can continue to see him with that hot hand, that's a spot you can definitely look to as well. Nikhil plays a bunch of minutes, and then kind of a guy here too is Dejounte Murray. He's been playing better as of late, and this is a game against Milwaukee where I do like his spot and his upside here. He's not the guy who's going to go for like 30 points in a game, but I do think for his production, and they've been like being pretty competitive in a lot of these games, so I think they're underrated as a team, and I kind of like him here on the over too.
Yeah, DeJounte Murray's been smashing this year. And the last guy I'm going to touch on is Shea Gillis Alexander. We already saw them play Golden State. He had a great game against them. And he's sitting at 23 and a half. We've seen him explode these last 3 games. He's finally found his shot from the long range, and I just see that continuing here. We know this OKC team is very young. They need Shea to kind of be the leader here, and I think that he's just going to continue his hot streak here, and 23 is just a little too low for me.
Yeah, I think he's in a good spot. I mean, it's nice that we already seen them play the Golden State Warriors, so I like that for him too. Another guy in that game is Josh Giddey. He's a little bit up and down this season so far, but it looks like he's going to find a pretty solid role in this offense, and if he does, I like him getting over that 11. I just think that he does a lot more for you. I'll check what his fantasy score is at. I didn't end up peeping that in the fantasy score category before the video. But if it's pretty low, I'm going to be on him on that too. I like this game for him. The last time they played the Warriors, he did only play 27 minutes. But like I said, against the Lakers, He did play 32 minutes and he scored 18 points, and he's starting to get a little bit more comfortable in the offense and in his role. So here at 11, I think it's a little shallow for him. So I kind of like that too.
Yeah, let's jump right into rebounds. The first guy I'm really looking at is Julius Randle. He's at 9.5. He's been smashing that every single game so far. I'm not really sure why the line is not at 10 or 10.5. So I'm going to take advantage of that here and go with the over 9.5.
Yeah, Randall, he's a guy that can go out and get a double double. Pretty much every single night. Randall, I mean Valanciunas, yeah, that's it might be a tough outing. But I think just in terms of Randall being out there, Thibodeau likes to run his starters, a million minutes. He's probably going to play 36 to 38 minutes. The game could probably get pretty competitive, so I like Randall there too. I was talking Montrezl Harrell before in the points category, but I do like him here on his rebounds. He's been grabbing a crap ton of boards, and I just think that this is a spot where there's going to be a lot of offense, so I like him in the rebounds category more than I like him in the points. Not something I'm going to be like hammering home, but if you want to look for a little 5 o'clock line, I don't think that's a bad spot either. And then moving down the board a little bit, we got Giannis at like 13. DeJounte Murray's been putting up triple doubles lately, so he's at 7.5. So if you kind of like him in that matchup in that category, that's up to you. Is there anyone else that you're looking at here?
Yeah, just to stay in that same game. Jakob Portal, he has been smashing all year, back to back 14 boards, and we've seen him play Milwaukee already this year. He didn't get to that mark, but Milwaukee's not a team that really has a standout center. I know they have Brooke Lopez, but he's an older guy, and Portal's just been smashing so far this year. So I really like that over 10.
Yeah, my problem with him is just, if the Milwaukee Bucks do decide to roll out a little bit small and maybe they roll Giannis at the center and they throw Bobby Portis in, is Poto going to get, a little bit too exposed and possibly deal with some foul trouble? That's always an option for him. But he's a decent point per minute guy. If he sees some minutes out there, I do think that he's in a solid spot to get over 10 rebounds, especially, just kind of game log watching, how he's been doing. And just him being out there, he is a solid presence. So we'll see how Pop either runs his lines or how the Bucks decide to run their lines. Another guy is Vucevic here. He's been a little bit up and down on the season so far, but him against Utah, a lot of people might be like kind of fading that matchup, but I actually think it's kind of better for him going against a solid center and Gobert. They're both going to be going at it down there. Gobert's been grabbing a shit ton of boards, and he's been cleaning up the offensive glass pretty well too. So kind of both of those guys. I don't know if you want to touch either of them, but I'm curious on your thoughts on them.
Yeah, I like Vucevic a lot. It's nice when he plays another great center, so he's going to be out there, and he cleans up the boards a lot for this Chicago Bulls team. So they really need him, and I think he's going to have a great game.
Lonzo Ball's another guy too here. We've seen him get a triple double already this season. His rebounds are starting to go down, but I think if you like Vucevic in that game, I think you start to fade Lonzo on that line too. Just a matter of like Vucevic grabbing a couple more. Shea's been cleaning up the glass pretty well too, and then because I think he had I think it was 7 to 8 rebounds last game. Let me check here right exactly. Oh, 9 rebounds last game. So we've seen him hit that mark twice already this season. And then Giddy's another guy too who's been getting some rebounds. But like I said, it's either one game he's getting a bunch of rebounds and he's getting no assists, and he's getting a bunch of assists, no rebounds. So I'm just waiting to have kind of all around big game from him. I know he's for it. And then Draymond's another guy at 8 here. I was wondering if you have any interest in him in that game.
Yeah, I mean, we always know Draymond Green grabs a bunch of boards. That's kind of what he's out there to do, is to grab boards, pass the ball around. He doesn't really score much, and that line's fair. I mean, it's right where you think it would be because he's been right around that most of the year. So I would take that over, but that one just makes me a little wary.
And that's pretty much it here. We never really talked too much about rebounds, but there's a couple guys here, that we did talk about that we do like more than usual. And then over at assists, I was on Jaylen Brown that last time for assists, and he didn't end up getting there, but he had a horrible game. I think this is another decent spot for him, just for in terms of volume. Same with Kyle Kuzma. If he's going to play his normal amount of minutes, I think this is just a good spot for him to at least get 2 assists. So, I don't know, man. He's not an awesome playmaker. And sometimes he does go out there and get zero, but I don't know. Two assists seems a little bit easy, but I like to target centers more at that assist line than I do someone in like the small forward role. But I don't know if there's any interest in that 5 o'clock game for you.
No, I don't really have too much interest in that. I think Dinwiddie's is pretty high. I really don't mind Kuzma, but he really doesn't um, assist the ball that much. And then you would think Bradley Beal would get the four, but he's just been a little off so far this year. But a guy I really like is Devonte Graham. I was on Alexander Walker couple games ago, and it seems to me that Graham is just the pure point guard for this team. He's the one handling the ball, making the assists, making the run here. So I like this 4.5 for him.
Yeah, right below him is I'm actually looking at Giannis too. Giannis has been just putting together a great stretch of games. He's hit that line in the past three games. He's hit that out of the 4 out of the 5 games this season so far. He's not known for his playmaking ability, but if this game does start to get a little less competitive, I can see Giannis take a back role in the scoring and kind of get people like Grayson Allen involved, maybe Pat Connaughton, get some of those guys, maybe some younger guys too, and maybe Portis has kind of a big game here. But I like Giannis. As if this game does start to get not as competitive, Giannis. Like I said, if you're just game log watching, he has hit that, so I don't mind him over 6.5 either.
Yeah, I think that's a great line for him because just like Luca and a bunch of other guys, he's always there for a triple double every single night. So you never really know what he's gonna do. But the last guy I want to talk about is Draymond Green. He is like he is like a machine with assists. For some reason, he gets about 8, 9 assists every single game. Like I touched on earlier, he doesn't really score the ball that well, and he's just a playmaker. And it's weird him being a power forward. He's the guy to kind of dish it to Steph and Andrew Wiggins. So I do like this over 7.5 for assists.
Yeah, we always like to look at centers and stuff like that too in the assist category. Vucevic is there. He's hit that 3 out of the 6 games the Bulls have played this season, or 3 out of the 5 games they've played this season. So if you want to kind of look at that, if he is going to be struggling scoring down there against a great defender in I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. Jazz center.
Oh, Gobert.
Yeah, he's gonna have a tough game against Gobert. So, that could be a spot where you're like, oh, he's going to have to kind of like, catch the ball in the post, look for some shooters. I think Levine's going to have a decent one in this game. I don't know if I like the assist category here for him, but I don't know. That those games can get a little iffy. So Chicago has been playing pretty good on the defensive side of the ball, so it could be low scoring, but we'll see. But we'll hop over to three-pointers made, a category we always like to talk about, and Riaz is going to kick us off over here.
Yeah, it's somebody I've been on almost every single time we do this, and that's Bradley Beal. It's dropped all the way down to 1.5, and I like that. He's due for a big game. I think a nice matchup against Boston. I think he's gonna actually finally make a couple threes here, and he only needs two, which is awesome. We've seen him so far this year make three, one most of the time, or none. But he's at a good matchup here. There's gonna be a lot of points scored, and I think Bradley Beal gets this over 1.5.
Yeah, in that same game, I do like Tatum as well. Him and Jalen Brown, 1A, 1B for this line, but I like Tatum's line a little bit more just because Brown's a little bit banged up. But Tatum, man, he's got an awesome shot on him. He's been shooting him a little bit more as of late. So I like him. I expect him to shoot a little bit better percentage-wise on the season. And then Caldwell Pope's a guy who's kind of just out there to shoot threes, so I can see why you're interested in that line. But going down to the 7 o'clock game, we got people like Brandon Ingram. Randall shot like 10 three-pointers a couple games ago. He's been shooting the ball from deep. Has he been hitting them at a good rate? I wouldn't say very good at all, but for him to even step out there and be shooting them to hit too, just in terms of his volume, not bad. Just curious if there's any interest for you.
Yeah, I like Brandon Ingram. I was on him for the points. I think he hasn't really had that much of a monster game so far this year, and I think against the Knicks, he's in a great spot to really drop like 40, 45 points. And I think two is just a little too low for him. He shoots a bunch of threes, and he's made a lot so far this year. So this is the one I'm really liking, and the 3 point is Brandon Ingram over two.
Yeah, Kemba Walker too. He's been shooting the ball great as of lately. He's not like shooting double digit three pointers, but he's been shooting the ball at a like really great percentage from deep as of late. And he's trending around 28 minutes, but if we can start to see that creep up a little bit more, I think even in his 28 minutes he can get there. But I don't know. People like Bogdan Bogdanovic and Joe Ingles don't really have any interest in. But in the middle of those two, Donovan Mitchell is just a guy that I expect to have a pretty good game here. He shot 1 for 9 in one of his games, also 3 for 10, but he does shoot a lot of shots. So I think just in terms, kind of like Bradley Beal, just in terms of his volume, I do like him in that spot against Chicago.
Yeah, I think that Chicago game is going to be fairly high against Utah, even though Utah has a great defense and doesn't really give up that many points. But I think this Chicago Bulls team is pretty good this year, so I think they're all in a pretty good spot.
I know you're also on Shea for the points wise. Are you on him for three pointers? Just sitting here at two, it looks like it's kind of low in my opinion.
Yeah, it is low since his last three games. He's made a lot more threes than he did in the first couple games, and like we always like to say, if we see a guy trending upward, you just got to keep hammering them, keep sticking with them because once they're hot, they're going to produce for a while. So yeah, I like that over two threes made.
So there you go for the for all the single stat DFS. I mean, there is free throws made. We don't like to cover that too much. It's just like I don't even know, really why you would dive into it. I think it's just so inconsistent as a category. I mean, there's a couple guys really that you could look at, depending on the slate. I mean, maybe like a Trey Young. I would say Harden, but we know how things have been going with him this year. But I don't know. Me and Riaz kind of like to stay away from it. But we're gonna jump over to fantasy score. I'll clear out my my bet right now, and then obviously kind of goes hand in hand with the single stat DFS. There's a couple guys that we're on. The first guy we're on that was also in our Fire 5 is Mo Bamba here against Detroit. Just smashed the slate last night with like 51 DK points. I think Mo Bamba's in an awesome spot against Detroit. That really has no one, I would say no one to really guard him. He's been stepping out and shooting the three. He's been dishing the rock. We always knew he was an awesome shot blocker too. But 14 shots last game, 5 3 pointers, and it's not like it's not even like he's like shooting an awesome percentage. The fact that he's just shooting them and like, not necessarily running the offense through him, but like I don't know, he can just do a lot out there for you. And I think 37 is just shallow.
Yeah, I mean, so far this year he's been smashing, and he's got a great role in Orlando. So we really do like Mobamba a lot tonight. And another guy I'm going to touch on is Brandon Ingram. He's at 37. I think he's going to have an awesome game. He's really the focal point of this offense. I don't see why not. He can't get to this 37. He's done it multiple times so far this year. And I'm on him with the points. I'm on him with the threes. So, of course, I'm going to be on him here for the fantasy score because he does much more than just scoring the ball.
Yeah, we're waiting for that big breakout game, that ceiling game from Ingram so far this year. I think that this is definitely a spot where he can get it. Also, back in that Orlando game, someone I do like is Cole Anthony, but I'm kind of 1A, 1B on Anthony and Suggs. I think I like him a tad bit more just because he's playing a little bit swagger now. I don't think that he's kind of worried about RJ Hampton kind of stepping in and taking some of those minutes. I think that's kind of his spot. In it. He feels secure in it. He's playmaking. I think 32 is shallow. He's hit that four out of the last 4 games. He's been over that, and he's even some games where he's smashing, going for like 50. So Cole Anthony there is also a spot that I do like. Like I said, I agree with Ingram too. Kemba's a little bit high for his shallow minutes, and then Graham. That's kind of like where he stays as a player. So I'm not really over there. And then we did talk Valanciunas and Randall. Obviously, we've seen Randall go for like 60 in a couple games. Valanciunas can smash at any given night, go for like 20 and 20. Interest in either of those guys?
Probably Valanciunas. He's been very consistent so far this year. We touched on him grabbing so many rebounds, and he also scores about 20 points a game. So that's pretty good for fantasy score, and he's had just monster games so far this year.
So let's keep moving down the list here, man. I mean, I didn't notice that they added some of these Philly lines. This is kind of my first time seeing them. I don't know if this is your first time seeing these Philly lines. I think they were just added. Trey Young, Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris.
Yeah, I mean the only one I'm really looking at is Tyrese Maxey. I really like this guy. He brings a lot of energy when he's out there, but the only problem with him, he's very up and down. But against this young Atlanta team that likes to run up and down the court, I think he's in a good spot here, and he's finally showed us that he does have a lot of upside in him. He showed that last game against Detroit, so I like the over here at 26.
For someone like Maxi though, it kind of scares me because like I said, for some value in DK, I mean I am kind of having some interest in Shake Milton. He just came back, and honestly, before the season started, there was some news coming out of camp that Shake Milton was going to be the one to kind of carry that load while Simmons was out instead of Maxi. But Maxi ends up getting the role. Has he been not necessarily struggling? He is a second year guy. But I don't know. I can see him start to flourish. He had a good playoffs last year. So I mean I don't know. That's not my cup of tea right there for Maxi, just because obviously there's some people coming back. They're starting to work into the offense, but I can see why you like him there. Trey Young in that Philly game in Philly, I don't really have interest in that either. I think Philly just plays awesome at home. And Capella, he might deal with a little bit of foul trouble tonight, but we also are on Collins for DK, and I think Collins is in a decent spot. I mean, he put up a couple really good games in the past three, and he has beaten that 4 out of the last 5 this season. But it's kind of just right there. If that was at like 31, I'd be hammering it. But 35 is just something where it's like, he definitely can get there, but it's going to be come right down to the wire.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that John Collins line.
And then anybody else you're looking at here, or are you good to wrap this up?
Yeah, I'm good to wrap this up. I don't really see any line that's really grabbing to me. The Joel Embiid line's pretty high, and we've seen Tobias Harris smash a bunch of times this year, but I think that's just a little too high for him.
Yeah, so I think we've had some awesome picks so far this video. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please drop a like down below. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I believe it's like 70% of our viewers are not subscribed yet. So if you do want to subscribe, please subscribe. Ring that bell notification. Like I said, we have some huge news coming. We can't wait to share it with you guys. So hopefully sometime this week. If it does go into next week, no worries. Because no matter what, it doesn't change. And like I said, super excited. We can't thank you guys enough for the support because all the stuff wouldn't be possible without you guys. You guys have been dropping comments down below. We appreciate the positivity, even if there is negativity. I mean, it does kind of help us grow as YouTubers, so we can kind of make adjustments here if you guys are enjoying it. But like always, as always, keep watching. We appreciate the support. And if there is something that we didn't touch on here that you do like, drop a comment down below. We'll give you our opinion on it. Just because we didn't talk about it doesn't mean that we might necessarily be on it. Things shift later as 7 o'clock comes around, 5 o'clock today even. So thank you guys for watching, and always be responsible with your bets, and we'll see you on the next one.